It's a love song. It's a love song. And I think the love we share is something that we have in common. It's the love for our country. Yeah? But it's a bittersweet kind of love because you know what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago these days. It's kind of rough and tough and hard to love. But you got to love until you can't love no more, no more. You understand? Because love is the only recourse. Stanny, man, chill.
Where I'm from, there ain't no sorry. No excuse me, beg your pardon. Where I'm from, there is a story. Sometimes there ain't no reason. Them are putting this on the run. Moral shut down. So much I got, funeral can't done. Knock down and run. It's only sisters and crown. Politics in the ground. There's no place like Trinidad and Tobago.
No place like home.
There's no place like Trinidad and Tobago.
It doesn't matter wherever you go.
There's no place like Trinidad and Tobago.
No place like home.
There's no place like Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, that's the sound of Tree Canal there. Well, you're seeing Tree Canal. That was the last time they had a show at the Big Black Box in 2020, pre-COVID Bacchanal. And since then, we have not been able to have a Tree Canal show at the Big Black Box. But here we are, Emancipation Weekend, and it's about to happen again. This morning, I want to welcome to the set Mr. Wendelman Warren.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having me here. I mean, I live just around the corner. So
Lucky you.
Take a little trot over and good
Are
to
you
be
ready
here.
for them? All right,
Yeah.
so 2020 was the last time that we had a Tree Canal show at the Big Black
At the Big
Box.
Black Box. It was the last time we played at home, and that's how I like to put it. And we opened back up slowly, and two of our young judges, Dion Batiste had a show that was very successful, and Abeo Jackson had a show that was extremely successful, and then we thought we were doing Freedom Jam in another venue, and we thought, why not do it home? You know, and we used it as an opportunity to kind of reclaim the space too.
Yeah.
It needed some TLC
Yes.
and some fixing up.
Well, I imagine the pandemic wasn't easy
No,
on it.
when you think about it, after 2.5 years of lockdown and you start to move things and shifting, you realize, oh, that need to fix, that need to fix. So we're using it as an opportunity to freshen up the place and say, you know, home is home, no place like home. And we've always done an event around Emancipation Time.
Well, I was going to get into that because I know that, well, historically, Tree Canal focuses on doing an event at Carnival Time, the major show.
Yeah.
You do freedom.com or Freedom Jam or whatever it is at Emancipation Time, and then you have the Republic Day.
And then we do report, 40 people.
So that's the 40 people. So that's the three major time stamps that that Tree Canal has been putting on the industry for 20 plus years, right?
Long time.
Yeah. Why is Emancipation Day so important to put your stamp on that day?
Emancipation is paramount, you know, in terms of what we call our second season. You see, this season from emancipation to independence, I think it's critical as a time for us to explore self, examine self, celebrate self, dig up in self, represent self.
Of course.
And starting with emancipation, and very proud of the fact that Trinidad and Tobago is the first country in the world to declare Emancipation Day a public holiday. And in large part to the efforts of Lancelot Lane, who is the Rapso man.
Rapso grandfather.
Lancelot was a relentless advocate for Emancipation Day to be a holiday. And, you know, it came to pass before he passed, so it was a good thing. And as representatives in the Rapso, that was always kind of an iconic moment for us, that we would want to celebrate the emancipation period. And also the concept of freedom. Every time we do the show, we always look at what does freedom mean now, you know, not just a sort of harking back and reclaiming our African ancestry, which is very important, very vital, very essential, because we know there are lots of issues around that, and lots of ignorance around that, and lots of stigma around that, and we all have to claim that. But I also say we also have to sort of actualize freedom in the here and the now, in the moment, you know? Inclusivity is key in that concept as well.
My last guest was saying that we have a long way to go when it comes to real emancipation. Like, yes, we've been emancipated from that particular version of slavery, but we have a long way to go. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, Earl Lovelace has a great quote in his book Salt, which deals with emancipation and reparations, which is a whole next issue. And he says, you know, the real challenge after emancipation was not how to release people from captivity, but how to set people at liberty. And that's an ongoing process. And if you examine the history, post-emancipation, they were not intent on setting people at liberty. They wanted that labor at all costs. And that set in train certain divisions and sectors in the society.
Capitalism.
It's still there today.
Now, Wendell, I wanted to jump in here because I know that we're talking about freedom and celebration and life. What sort of elements is Tricanal going to be using in the concert on Sunday to bring that out?
Well, you know, we say the drum and the torch is the power and the force in the celebration of freedom. So the drum is at the core of it. Also, paying homage to icons like Lancelot Lane and the late great Brother Resistance, you know, by paying tribute to them, by covering their songs. We always sing Blue Way around this time, which first is the anthem, the Rapso anthem. And this year we're doing a treatment of The Glory of Kings, which is one of my favorite Brother Resistance songs. We have drummers that will be opening up with a proper drum call. And the whole spirit of the set is informed by something called the baptized rhythm, which is a really rooted, elemental, can't get more quintessentially Trinidad and Tobago African rhythm. And the entire set, you know, Raucus has been working really hard behind the scenes.
He has.
Has been working very hard behind the scenes to make sure everything sit down on it because, you know, it's like, Raucus.
We're watching you. We're watching you. If something goes wrong on that night.
No pressure.
You totally had that. So, yeah, it's an opportunity to, you know, explore it musically, vibrationally, you know, the poetics of it, as we say, not in a preachy way, but in a vibrational way. You know, we like to say that, you know, you walk and vibrate the space, you know. Lots of metaphors, and, you know, sometimes it'll get a little, like, up in the air, but it's very rooted and grounded, you know.
Of course. Are we going to be seeing any, let's say, a revised version of any of the songs that you would have had in the past?
Yeah. All the songs get in a new kind of coat of paint and a dust off and some new swings and things. Because we chose to work inside that baptized rhythm, is we're bringing out new elements in the songs, you know. And which is good for us. It's fresh, you know. We haven't jammed with the band for a long time. The last time was at Staying Alive, and that was real good, you know. And the energy from that was enough to say, hey, let's go for our next show.
Now, I know, Wendell, just to get a little bit more outside of just this particular show, the purpose of the Big Black Box has been set up to do what exactly?
Well, we've always seen it as a yard, and the yard is fundamental to the Trinidad cultural matrix. Understand? Pan come from a yard. Mass come from a yard. Calypso come out of the yard. The yards of East Port of Spain and Belmont and environs, that's what gave us the cultural capital that we're still trading in today, right? So I've always felt that it was important. And we had the experience of working in Longden Street, and it had a yard, and we used to do something called the Yard Vibes on a Friday night. And it became way bigger than the space. Denise Belfort would come in, and that same big song, Walk, that's international and blowing up, premiered in the yard right there, right? So we've always seen the yard as a stepping stone, a building block. And also it's a community center in the truest sense of the word, but for the community of creatives, you know, not just young creatives, especially young creatives, but anybody who wanted to do something without the big risk of a big venue, try something out in a small space, see if it works, and then take it somewhere else.
Almost like an incubation ground.
Incubation ground, but on top of that, you know, it have venues around the world like SOBs in New York, right?
Blues and stuff, yeah.
If you get to play in some of these venues, they may be small, but it's huge in terms of their reputation, their sound quality. I've been to gigs in London, like at the Jazz Cafe, where you see huge artists, but it's a very small place.
Very intimate, yes.
Everything just proper. So that's one of my dreams for the box as well. You know, so it's a work in progress. It's a challenge. But the location is key. Where it's located in the heart of Woodbrook, there, just off the avenue, as a cultural space is very important.
How much are tickets for Sunday, and how can people get them?
$250, and I think you had to get them at the door, or you could go to the Eventbrite, and you know, I do my homework. And
so if you go to eventbrite.com, you can get the Freedom Jam at the Big Black Box.
And we have a number, 3200042. 3200042. That's the Big Black Box office. You could call, talk to Nigel. He's a real good fella. He will sort you out.
3200042. That's the number to call if you want to get tickets for this Sunday at the Big Black Box Freedom Jam.
Just come down.
Just come down. Just come down. We know much room at time, but just come down. We have vibes anyway. Wendell, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. God bless. Happy Emancipation, Trinidad and Tobago. Everybody have a
happy Emancipation today to you too.
Happy time. God bless.
We take a quick break and come back with more inside the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.
Where I'm from, there ain't no sorry. No place like home, there's no place like Trinidad and Tobago. Doesn't matter wherever you roam, there's no place like Trinidad.
the tough and the hard times